Good morning, class. Today we are going to talk about what it means to be happy and sad. And we're going to do that by listening to different songs. So I'm going to play part of a song, and you have to tell me if you think the song is happy or sad. Okay? So let's try this one.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say.
What did you think? Happy or sad? Happy. Good. And why would you say that? Excellent. Very upbeat. It makes you want to smile. It might make you want to dance. Okay, now we're going to break into groups of 3, and I'm going to play 2 different songs. And in your group of 3, you have to decide whether the 2 songs are happy or sad. Okay, so here's the first song.
No, I can't take one more step towards you, 'cause all that's waiting is regret.
Excellent. And here is the second song. Okay, now take a minute to discuss between your group and tell me which ones you think are happy and which ones you think are sad. In that section, I was teaching about the differences between happy and sad, and I was using music to show what those different emotions are. I chose to use music. I think that with happy and sad, there are a lot of different ways that you can show what happy and sad mean, but I like music because I think music is universal. Every culture has some sort of music, and I also like that it would have opened up the opportunity for me to bring students up and have them use my computer to find songs that they thought were happy or songs that they thought were sad from their own culture, so that way we have a little bit of cross-cultural learning going on, and we get to experience some of that, but we also get to learn about what happy is and what sad is from all of our different students using authentic materials, which I think is really important. Good morning, class. Today we are going to talk about the difference between surprised and shocked. So here we have some pictures that you can see. The top left you'll see is a person who is bored, and we've talked about being bored. You're tired of doing something, you don't want to do it anymore. Over to the right, you're going to see unexpected, and that means something happened that you didn't know was going to happen, and that's going to be unexpected. Finally, we go down to surprised, which means that you're surprised that something happens, and then shocked. So we're going to look at some examples here using the gradient that we just saw, going from bored all the way up to shocked, and knowing that shocked is just a little bit more than surprised. So who can tell me what they think the woman on the top left is? Is she surprised or is she shocked? Very good. She's surprised. You can see she's smiling, her mouth's open. The next person, what do you think? Surprised or shocked? This person is shocked. It looks like they're a little bit more than surprised, caught off guard. The next person, though, is surprised. We'll move down to the bottom left. Very good. That person is shocked. 1 second. There we go. And the next person, that basketball player there, he is shocked. Maybe somebody just made an amazing shot. And then finally, the last person there, that person is surprised. Not too shocked, just surprised. So for our last activity, we're going to go through some news articles, and I want you to pull out clippings that you think are surprising, pull out clippings that you think are shocking, and we will share with the group. In that example, describing the difference between surprised and shocked, I moved through the introduction pretty quickly just by setting up that gradient to show going from bored all the way up to shocked, and showing the difference between surprised and shocked, with emphasis on just being that shocked was just a little bit farther up the gradient than surprised. I used images and visual aids to facilitate that introduction level, and then to bring the class in, we did some examples, have some people talk about why they thought different pictures were showing somebody who was shocked and somebody who was surprised. There at the end, we were moving into an activity where the students would use different texts and different newspapers that I would provide to cut out clippings of headlines that they thought were either shocking or surprising, and then they would describe to the class the content of the article and why they found that either shocking or surprising, or perhaps both. Good morning, class. Today we're going to talk about angry and offended. Now, I know we're familiar with the word angry. Does anybody have any synonyms or idioms for angry? Mad and seeing red, good. Irate, that's another great example. Ticked off, a bit informal, but we'll take it. And a sentence from anybody? Anybody with a sentence about angry? I was angry when somebody stole my bicycle. Good. Offended is related. We're going to see some synonyms here. Insulted, hurt, and revolted. So similar, but a little bit different. I was offended when you said you did not like my hat, is an example. So now we've seen some examples. Let's break into pairs and we'll come up with some skits of a time that perhaps you were angry and offended. And then we'll perform them in front of the class. All right, we're finished up with our skits, and let's hear the first one. Hey, you are dumb. Please do not say that. That offends me. Your smell offends me. You need to take a shower. Now I am angry because you are so mean to me. I am only joking. You are smart and smell good. Okay, we can be friends again. That's a great scenario using both angry and offended. Good job. Would anybody else like to try? In that example, talking about angry and offended, I started off using an eliciting strategy. I wanted to elicit some synonyms of angry because I thought that intermediate students have probably been exposed to that word before, or at least some of them. So we had some synonyms, and we had a sentence, and then I introduced the word offended because I thought that that was probably a little bit less of a familiar of a term for our intermediate students. We then moved into a miming activity, or a skit activity, where the students broke into pairs and they came up with some sentences, and then they read them in front of the class. That gets them practice with writing, gets them practice with reading, gets them practice with listening because they can hear their other students' sketches. So combining that eliciting with that miming and that acting really provides a good 1-2 punch for explaining the difference between two words that are similar but can have different meanings in different contexts.